A celebration in Topeka to switch gears with a solemn undertone tonight. Just hours ago, leaders lit a menorah at the Capitol. And while this celebration was already planned, the community support is more important than ever following yesterday's deadly shooting in Australia. According to police, a father and son opened fire at a Hanukkah event on Bondi Beach in Sydney. 15 people are dead and more than 24 are still in the hospital. Some of them are in critical condition, and there are people here, thousands of miles away, waiting for answers about their friends.
Chabad at KU has experienced loss before. You can see a memorial here for one of its former members. I'm Douglas County reporter Lily O'Shea Becker, once again speaking with the rabbi of Chabad at KU as he mourns, this time for his friend who was killed in the anti-Semitic attack in Australia this weekend. Husband Rabbi Zalman Teichtel and wife Nechama Teichtel direct Chabad at KU together. Sunday night, they celebrated Hanukkah with the Lawrence community.
When we were setting up our event last night, putting up our big menorah, I was thinking to myself, this was exactly what my colleague and dear friend Rabbi Eli was doing just a day ago when he was brutally murdered. Rabbi Teichtel is talking about Rabbi Eli Schlinger. He was one of the 15 victims targeted in an anti-Semitic attack on Australia's Bondi Beach over the weekend. We studied together in Paris, France for 2 years. I hear his voice ringing in my ears, you know, Zalman, what's going on? The couple said they know several people who celebrated Hanukkah at the Australian beach when the shooting happened.
I felt personally attacked. I felt that this could have been me. This could have been a Lawrence. And as Jews, we're all very close. Connected.
It's not the first tragic loss the Lawrence Jewish community has felt this year. In May, Prairie Village native and KU graduate Sarah Milgram and her boyfriend were shot and killed after a Jewish event in D.C. Monday, the Teichtels joined Milgram's parents at the Kansas Capitol. It's so interesting that the theme of the lighting this year is finding light within the darkness and rising above the pain. Together with Governor Laura Kelly, the Kansas Jewish community lit the menorah. One little candle can bring so much light. So that's what we got to do. That's exactly what Rabbi Eli would tell us to do. Reporting in Lawrence, Lily O'Shea Becker, KSHB 41 News.
The Kansas State House hosts members of the Jewish community from around the state each year for a Hanukkah lighting ceremony. 13's Carson Shea heard why the light of the holiday is needed now more than ever before.
Victoria, leaders at this afternoon's ceremony say recent tragedies highlight why it's important to come together in times of darkness.
One of the most unique things about light is that if you light another candle, not only the first candle doesn't get diminished, now you have more light and more light and more light.
The Chabad of Kansas hosted its annual Hanukkah at the Capitol celebration Monday evening to celebrate Jewish culture, but also recognize the tragedies that have happened this year.
The theme of this year's Capitol lighting, amazingly, was the power of light overcoming darkness. And we're very honored to have with us the parents of Sarah Milgram, a young woman from Prairie Village, Kansas, who lost her life in an act of hate.
Governor Laura Kelly and other leaders emphasized that light in wake of the mass shooting at a Hanukkah gathering in Sydney, Australia on Sunday.
These are just two tragedies of a series of thousands upon thousands of tragedies that have occurred over the past decade or so.
How do we respond to that? What do Jewish people do about such a thing? The answer is very simple. We come together again with more light, more power, more energy, and more community, because that's the power of the Jewish people.
Governor Kelly says it's time for leaders to take the lead for change.
It's time that we stop talking and start acting. And I take that responsibility upon myself as governor to do more and to work with my colleagues and see what we can do to actually make a difference.
Hanukkah started yesterday and it runs through next Monday.
All right, Carson, thanks for the update there.
These continue at the Kansas State Capitol building. Today, people came together to celebrate the first day of Hanukkah, and it came with a strong message from Governor Kelly about limiting terrorism. At the Capitol, leaders of the Jewish community gathered to celebrate the first day of Hanukkah. However, it comes after a deadly shooting in Sydney, Australia yesterday, where 15 people were killed during a Hanukkah celebration. Speakers during today's event took time to honor those who had died during that anti-Semitic attack. And Governor Kelly took the opportunity to urge lawmakers to do something to stop terrorism.
Can we stop all these killings? Probably not. But we know, and I am again referring to elected officials, that there are laws that we could pass that would significantly reduce the carnage.
This was the 17th annual Hanukkah celebration at the Kansas State Capitol.